guys, and welcome back. We are now going to tackle lesson 7 of our Saxon math book. We touched on lesson 7 when I did lesson 5 a couple days ago. So today's actually going to be a lot of review, stuff that you've already seen. It's just going to give us a little bit more time to work on it. I will go fairly quickly through the lesson, knowing that you can pause it, rewind it, and listen to it again. Because it will be a little bit quicker. Go ahead in your composition notebook, write down lesson 7, writing and comparing whole numbers through hundred thousands and ordinal numbers. Okay, if you need to press pause to write that down, go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a little bit of review from the other day, reminding you that when we name numbers, you only say "and" if there is a decimal point. So this is pronounced 186. It is not pronounced 186, and as you know, you will catch Mr. Bruning making that mistake, and I expect you to call me out. Okay, and as another review, we learned that some digits are larger than 3 digits in the past. So far this year, we've just been working on the ones, tens, and the hundreds. Yesterday, we learned that that's called the no-name group. And we went ahead and we could extend it out to another group that also contains ones, tens, and hundreds. But this is going to be called the thousands group. And we learned how to read numbers by saying the number, saying the name of the group, and then saying the number. And we're just going to refresh that really quick right now. Remember that when we see a number, we want to look at each group, and I noticed that I have 2 groups here separated by a comma. I have the 3 numbers of 319 that is represented here in the no-name group, and I have 206 that's represented in the thousands group. So first, we're going to say the number reading from left to right. We're going to say 206,319. I do not have to say anything after I say 319 because that is the no-name group. So again, 206,319. Moving right along. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys try to do this one yourself first. Use words to name this number. And remember, when we have a number without a comma, that's the first thing we need to do. So remember the 1, 2, 3, comma me rule. Go ahead and write this number down and then write it using words in your composition notebook. Press pause and then come back and press play when you're done. Okay, well, the first thing I notice is I want to start over here to the right side of the number, and I want to do my 1, 2, 3, comma me. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, comma me. I went ahead and added my comma here. I know that I have 2 groups here. I have my no-name group and I have my thousand group. If you don't quite realize that, don't be afraid to use your place value chart where you can go ahead and you can add the numbers in. Let's go ahead and put our numbers to the left in the thousands group right here. We're going to go ahead and write 123. Let's write our numbers in the no-name group, 456. I know that when I read this number, I read the number, then I read the name of the group. So this is 123,456. Hopefully when you wrote that down, yours is going to look similar to mine. Maybe your handwriting is better than mine. I have a hard time writing on this little tablet, but my handwriting is still horrible without the tablet. 123, and now I have to name the group. It's in my thousand group. And what do I have in between my groups here? I have a comma. So I want to make sure that I put a comma here when I use words. Now just write that no-name group, 456. So 123,456 should look like that when you use words to name it. And hopefully yours look like mine. Moving right along, go ahead and press pause. Please use words to name this. Don't forget, you got to start with that comma. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to do the 1, 2, 3, comma me. I know that I have two different groups here. I have my no-name group and my thousand group. If you can't figure out what's what, don't hesitate to write those numbers down in a place value chart. Because I know I say the number 86, I say the name of the group 86,030. So we'll go ahead and we'll write that, and let's see if you have the same thing. 86,000. Okay, I'm naming the group here, so I know my groups are separated by a comma. I want to make sure I put that comma in there. 86,030 is the answer that you should have gotten. All right, moving right along. Here we go, using digits to name a number. So I'm not going to read this number. I want you guys to read it first and go ahead and just fill in the place value chart if you have to, or just write the numbers down without the place value chart if you are feeling lucky. Go ahead and press pause, do that, and come right back. Okay, 250,096. Well, I have my 250. I know it's in the thousands group because I know I say the number and then say the group. So in my thousands group, I'm going to have 250. And in my no-name group, I'm going to have 96. I have 9 tens and I have 6 ones. When I have nothing here, remember, 0 is the same as nothing. Go ahead and just throw your zeros in. There you have 250,096. Hope you got what I got. Use digits to name this number. Go ahead and press pause and let's try this. Can you guys hear my dog panting in the background? They just were in the backyard. Okay, 16,805. Well, I have my groups here. I have one comma here, so I know I have two groups. 16 is in my thousands group. 805 is in my next group, my no-name group. There I have 16,805 using digits. Hopefully you got the same. I'm sure you did. Okay, comparing numbers. But before I get to comparing numbers, I'm going to go ahead and give you the Easter egg of the day. It is the question that I'm going to ask in the quiz. I'm going to ask you, what is the answer to the problem I gave you in the video? I want you to write the answer only. Here is your problem. 8 times 6 equals what? I want you to remember the answer. You're going to write the answer only using digits when I ask for it on the quiz. So here is our Easter egg of the video for our quiz to make sure that you watched it. Make sure that you write down the answer when I ask for it in the quiz. But now, let's go ahead and look at comparing numbers. When I compare numbers, the easiest way to do it, I think we all can compare single digit numbers. But how am I going to compare 323,199 to 323,312? Well, a really easy way is I could just look at the first digit in each one, 3 and 3. Well, that doesn't help. Those are the same numbers. What about 2 and 2? Still doesn't help. What about the 3 and the 3? That still doesn't help. But the fourth digit, look at that 1 and look at that 3. I think we all know what's bigger when I look at a 1 and a 3. The 3 is bigger. So this actually says 323,199 is less than 323,312. I've got my alligator taking a bite out of the bigger number. Let's go ahead and scroll on down. Okay, a refresher from lesson 5. I did talk about ordinal numbers. I think we're all very, very familiar with ordinal numbers. We just don't call them ordinal numbers. Anytime we're in a race, for example, you get first, second, third, fourth, or anytime we're in some type of order, like we're on a line and I'm the 5th person in line, that's an order or a position. Anytime we deal with numbers that deal with a position or an order, they're called ordinal numbers. So make sure you write down ordinal numbers as one of your definitions or academic vocabularies. And it's a number that is used to name position or order. Okay, and there's a chart in your book. If you go to the Google Classroom, go to our Saxon textbook for Lesson 7. In Lesson 7 on page 42, there's a chart that shows the ordinal numbers. I'm pretty sure that you guys are aware of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, etc. Let's go ahead and go to a problem here. Oh, we're back to the tables. And I know that students have a hard time with this. This is actually a question that we've seen, but or a table that we've seen. They've changed it up a little bit in the text. And I am going to go ahead and put these here because in math, we only use 4 operations. We either add, subtract, multiply, or divide. So it's got to be one of these 4. Okay, but the first thing I need to do is I need to read the statement and figure out what it's telling me to look for. So write a rule that describes how to find the number of dollars for any number of dimes. Well, what am I asked? I'm asked how to find the number of dollars. Okay, so I'm going to underline or I'll circle the dollars up here because this is what I actually have to find for any number of dimes. So if they give me dimes, how do I find the number of dollars? So I'm going to draw arrows kind of showing you where I need to go, from where to where, from 40 to 4, from 50 to 5, from 60 to 6. How do I get from the bottom number to the top number? Well, can I add? Okay, well, if I have 10, can I add anything to get to 1? Well, I know when I add, it makes it bigger. So I know I'm not going to be adding anything. Okay, you're going to go through these different ways that we can find the answer and see which ones work and which ones don't. If I go from 10 to 1, can I subtract? Well, I can. 10 minus what equals 1? Well, 10 minus 9. Can I subtract by 9? Well, let me see. 20 minus 9. Oh, that's not going to give me 2. So the subtract 9 is not going to work. What about multiply by? Well, when I multiply, I know the number gets bigger. So multiply 10 times something, it's going to get bigger. It's not going to get smaller. It's not going to be multiply. Divide. Well, when I divide, a number does get smaller. What can I divide 10 by to get 1? What can I divide 20 by to get 2? Well, 10 divided by 10 is 1. Let's see if that works. Divide by 10. 20 divided by 10. Hey, that's 2. 30 divided by 10 is 3. Let me go over here to the very end. 60 divided by 10. Hey, that's 6. So my rule is going to be divide by 10. So make sure that we go through each of the operations that we do in math. Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. See which one's going to help you. Okay, basically given that information that we just had, 80 dimes is represented by how many dollars? Well, I need to know that in order to find the number of dollars, I needed to divide by 10. That was the rule that we came up with. Divide by 10. 80 dimes is how many dollars? Well, I could extend my chart out and I'd look at the top number of dollars. That's going up by 1. So I could do 7. I could do 8. I could do 9 because it's just going up by 1. And the number of dimes, it looks like we're going up by 10, 40, 50, 60. So this would be 70. This would be 80. Well, look at that. 80 dimes represents how many dollars? It represents $8. But I could use my divide by 10 rule. I could actually take the number of dimes, 80. I could divide it by 10. And what am I going to get? Well, 80 divided by 10, that's 8. My numbers match up. Remember, when we're reading from left to right, this says 80 divided by 10. But what happens when I read it from right to left? What's the opposite of division? The opposite of division is multiplication, and this actually reads from right to left. I could say 8 times 10 equals 80. Hey, that makes sense. The correct answer is $8. Oh, and I'll go ahead and put my $ here because it's asking for money. And guess what, folks? That is it. Make sure that you stop, rewind, rewatch. If you're having some complications, make sure you reach out to Mr. Brunig via private message, and I can get onto our Google or our Kazoom, or what is it? Our Zoom, not Kazoom. I can get into our Zoom room, and I can go ahead and help you one-on-one in a quick video chat. Look forward to seeing how you guys do on this. Make sure that you get it done and reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.